Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here. It is Friday the 1st of March. It's the first day of spring. Thanks again for watching, and as always the site's kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen here. So by you coming back and using the site and going onto the charts, etc., telling your friends about us, that's what keeps it free of charge, because it's that generates revenue for us. This site is a professional site, it's a commercial site, so we need to make money to exist basically, and thanks to you coming back and using the site regularly, we do that, so thank you for doing that. Okay, first up this morning, before I just show you the Japanese model that's just hot off the press, which is kind of caused a little bit of concern, and I'll show you why in just a moment. This is the GFS Ensemble, and pretty much the same as it has been for the week really, which is showing a rise in temperatures into the early part of next week, and then look, we can see that fall off, this quite sharp fall off around about the 9th of the month, and also just notice as well the green colours in here indicating more unsettled conditions coming through, so no real changes there. It's been pretty consistent. Now over the course of the weekend we're going to have high pressure that we've got this morning centred there towards the western parts of Scotland. Now what we're going to find is that high kind of hangs around for much of the weekend. It slips its way southeastwards into Saturday morning. We could find some fog around Saturday morning, particularly across Wales, across parts of the Midlands, across Ireland. I know some of you watching this are light aviation pilots, and I think fog could be a problem kind of within this area first thing in the morning. I think some cloud and drizzle affecting northern and western parts of Scotland, and there may be some low cloud too just skirting the southeast coast, because we've still got that northeasterly flow there. Now through the course of Saturday most of the fog will be clearing away, although always some left around in the west. But I think for Saturday afternoon across many parts of England and also Wales and parts of Ireland as well, it should be a fair afternoon. The cloud should lift, it should break, although always difficult in these situations to decide exactly where and where there isn't going to be cloud. So I'm going to say broken cloud more than anything else. Some of you sailing as well, just light winds, northeasterlies, force 2s across the south, northwesterly 3s and 4s around northern and western Scotland, and it's within this zone here across northern and western Scotland that we could see some drizzle during the afternoon as well. Overnight into Sunday, high pressure basically just becomes centred across the country. You can see it there. This is the area of high pressure by Sunday morning. So I think we've got a fog problem again, or fog patches. Southern Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, northern parts of England, the Midlands, East Anglia. Only thing that could save that is that we do have more cloud than's predicted, but at the moment looks like some clear spells coming through. So I think most of the cloud is probably within this zone here, and that's where we'll see least mist and fog, but elsewhere it looks like there will be some around. Clearer across southeast England, but staying generally dry. Now through the course of Sunday the high will clear away towards the east, but always some fog patches if they do occur across southern parts of Scotland, northern parts of England, into Wales, into parts of the northern Midlands and into parts of East Anglia too. But once they clear, it should be a pleasant afternoon actually, dry, some sunny spells around, and just an increasing southeast to east southwest wind here across southwestern parts of the country, getting up to around a force 4 across the western channel. But generally for most it's dry, although again some cloud and some outbreaks of rain affecting the northern parts of Scotland. Now into Monday the high slips away down towards the east. We start to pick up the idea of some cloud returning back northwards during Monday, bringing 1 or 2 spots of rain possibly across Wales, parts of southern England, but I think essentially it's dry. We're then staying dry into Tuesday as well, but then overnight Tuesday into Wednesday we start to see rain coming northwards, and notice how this rain becomes more persistent into Wednesday morning, and I think that leads us into more unsettled conditions as we get into the second half of the week. You can see there that low pressure centred here southwest of Ireland is just going to be feeding up this rain northwards through the country. And if we just pick up on how things develop from the ensemble, this is where are we? This is the ensemble model. Let's get us to where we were. There we are. Look, here's the area of low pressure down towards the southeast, towards the southwest even. This is the 7th, so this is Thursday the 7th of March, and you'll notice what happens is that low kind of hangs around, so this is our more unsettled period coming through. Notice how the winds eventually start to come from a colder source from the east as well, lowering temperatures across Scotland first of all, and then what we find is that the area of low pressure to the south slips its way slowly south and eastwards, reintroduces cooler air down through all parts of the country. And it's difficult to put detail on this, but at the moment it looks as if we go into cooler conditions mid-month, more unsettled as well, particularly across the south, although for parts of Scotland it's probably going to be drier, and those cooler conditions really lasting right the way through until the middle of the month. So the overall pattern of the ensemble seems to be about correct. Now, I know rainfall's critical for those of you farming, so this is the forecast for day 1 to day 5, ending at midnight on the 6th. So this is ending midnight, where are we? We are Monday the 4th, Tuesday, so into Wednesday the 6th, and you can see how little rain there is across much of England and also Wales, but starting to see some bits and pieces just further west. So the emphasis on dry weather certainly continues for at least the next 5 days. Then we find this more unsettled period coming through. Still not huge amounts of rain, but 10 to 15 millimetres possible for many areas, always less down here towards the southeast. And then day 11 to 15 taking us up to the 16th of March. It's generally drier, but outbreaks of rain, 5 to 8 millimetres possible during that period. So certainly, you know, we're more there's more rain around than there has been recently. That's not to say it's going to be heavy or that it's going to be persistent, because I don't think it is. It's just there's going to be more of it around. So I was telling you a little bit about the Japanese model that's just literally hot off the press. This is the forecast for week 1. Now the British Isles is underneath there. Hopefully you can make out. It's just there. You can see Spain here and Portugal. This is Spain, Portugal, and the Bay of Biscay here, northern parts of France. British Isles is under here. Now this is week 1. This is the 500 millibar heights, and what to notice here is how low the heights are through here. So this is the jet stream, look, coming through during the next week across central and southern parts of Europe, further south than it should be, with higher than normal heights here for the northern parts of the UK. That's our area of high pressure in the next week, although of course what we're finding is these southerly winds coming further northwards. Now into week 2. Week 2 shows the increased heights have shifted array towards the west, which, if you were watching yesterday, is what the Koreans suggested as well. So we've got high pressure centred out here. Look, the jet stream's coming further northwards, closer to the southern half of the British Isles. So this is the unsettled weather coming through into week 2, and this takes us up to day 15, which would be around Thursday the 15th of March. Is Thursday the 15th or is it the 14th? But it's around the 14th of March. But then just look at week 3 to 4. Now this causes a problem because it lowers the heights through here, look, okay, and it's showing us lower heights, keeps the block up here towards the northwest. But the problem is that if you compare it to the Korean for the final week of March, which was that one for late March, this was from yesterday, remember. Do you see how high the heights are in here? These yellow colours in here. This is bringing high pressure in here, whereas the Japanese model, the latest Japanese, which is quite a reliable model, clears that high up towards the northwest and brings the jet further north. Now, I think probably what we're seeing here is actually more reflective of this, which is the really low than normal heights down towards the southwest. So I think we're getting residual of that coming through here, because remember this is a 2-week period taking us up to the end of March, taking us to the 28th of March. So I think we're seeing the residual of that. So at the moment I'm not going to panic. I'm still going to go with the idea of high pressure building in towards the end of the month. I think that will build back here. I think we'll go into more of a northeasterly flow. However, what it does do is, as I hinted at yesterday when we were looking at the Korean, when we were looking at that, because if you can remember back to yesterday, what the Korean did early April was it lowered the heights, look, through Central Europe, through there, and hired them up towards the north of Scotland. And if you remember, what I said was that the far southeast of England could well find itself in the cooler, more unsettled northeasterly conditions even at the end of March. And I think it is that kind of Kent coast, Sussex, just those southern counties that may well find themselves at the mercy of northeasterly winds at times. And I think it's something that we just have to be watching out for. But for the vast majority of the country, 95% of the country, I think we're going to a drier, possibly warmer end to March, but it's just that thing in there has caused me a bit of problems this morning. I've been watching it through the day. I'm going to be updating you on it anyway to keep you informed, but I do want to show you the process that takes place when we're preparing these forecasts for our private clients, so that you know that we're doing this on a scientific basis, you know, not from seaweed and fir cones. So lots to think about, but thanks again for watching. Goodness me, it's the weekend already, isn't it? Yeah, so thanks again for watching. As always, the sites get free of charge by you coming back and using the site and using the adverts and using the charts. That's what keeps us free of charge. But for now, thank you for watching and keep the sun shining. Bye for now.